everyone. You have now entered the cosmic radio receptors of KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's fantastic program. I'm Dr. Gigi, and my co-host is, as always, Jacques Kepner. How are you today, Jacques?
Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Doctor, and I'm doing fine. Welcome to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show. Special thanks to engineers Tom Bozak. Michael Gorse is out there somewhere. And, of course, Linda is out there listening to the show, Linda Bozak. And then Ray Simon is back in the booth after a couple of weeks of hiatus, as this show has been on a hiatus for the past 2 Wednesdays because it fell on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. And we sure weren't going to be doing a show on those days. We had some partying to do. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. It's over with. Let's move on. You're hearing this live syndicated show on KCIW in Brookings, Oregon. And that said, the same syndicated show will be rebroadcast in exactly 1 week from now, each and every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on KZZH 96.7 FM. And you know where?
Where?
Eureka, Arcata area. Welcome all you folks to the south of us. We're up here in Brookings, Oregon, but it also reaches Crescent City, and it comes out on KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City, California. So now you know, the Dr. Gigi and I have your coasts covered.
That's K-Fug.
Yeah, KFUG. Did I not say that? Or?
You might have.
Yeah, I might have. Okay, it's that time when good medicine and health tips are presented by my German medical doctor, who happens to be a patent-holding scientist and a university professor. What medical marvels do you have for us today on this week's health segment of MD Gigi?
Thank you, Jacques.
You're welcome.
Today we're going to talk about medical imaging.
Medical
imaging. I always find that interesting. When patients have concerns, or imaging might help them find out what the
X-ray stuff.
That kind of stuff,
I thought you were.
They first what they want is an MRI. They would like to have an MRI ordered. They hear that that's a gold standard of just about anything and everything.
Okay.
Besides the logistics of when insurances would even consider covering an MRI, they are not always the best option to go with. So let's discuss the different imaging tools, shall we?
Folks, did you hear there is a coin shortage in America? I'm not trying to change the subject, but there is a coin shortage in America. Yes, we are running out of common sense. Thank you for laughing.
Going back to the real subject at hand, X-rays were first discovered in 1895 by Wilhelm Röntgen.
Oh, another German.
He did not know what those thingies were that he visualized stuff with, so he called them X to denote that this is an unknown thing that he is looking for. In Germany, we still call those rays Röntgen rays.
Oh, after his last name?
Yeah, and here they call them X-rays.
Hey, did you hear about speaking of Germany, did you hear about the new electric car from Germany?
What?
It's called a Volkswagen. Yeah. All right. What else about X-rays, Doc?
Yeah, that's funny. So how do X-rays work? They use a small dose of radiation that gets passed through the body to create a 2-dimensional shadow image of a 3-dimensional body, right?
Okay.
So dense structures as in containing calcium, like bones appearing white, and softer tissues with less calcium and less dense, they go in shades of gray. X-rays have the advantage of being inexpensive, quickly done, widely used to check for broken bones, arthritis, some tumors, and common chest problems such as pneumonia or a lung collapse.
Okay, is there a danger with too many X-rays? Because I have had...
Yes, short answer is yes.
I've had 200 X-rays in my life. 200.
Okay.
And I'm losing 20 pounds a day. I don't understand what's going on. Hey, Doc, if you burn to death, do you get a discount at the crematorium?
Oh, I get it.
Did it? Yeah, you're already reduced to ash, right? I like that. But okay. What about ultrasound?
Ultrasound, the next modality that we can talk about, is a different way of imaging, right? It uses reflections from high-frequency sound waves. It uses high-frequency sound waves, which we call ultra sound waves from underlying tissue. And it was used in the medical field as early as the 1940s. Ultrasound technology can visualize moving parts inside your body, or my body too, such as heart valves in an echo and blood flow. Like if you check for DVTs, so that's done with an ultrasound. And, of course, the baby ultrasound to see how
Yeah, oh,
the
yeah,
baby's
that's right. They
preparing.
do. That's right. My
Yeah.
grandchildren, I saw them before they were born.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
My grandfather, he died because the medical report said he had type A blood. Unfortunately, it was a typo. Good. Everybody's laughing. That's right. Okay.
Ultrasound can also be used to assess many other organs, such as the gallbladder.
It's you've discussed the gallbladder before.
We did, yeah. Liver,
We've
like to
discussed
see if
that.
you have fatty liver. Appendix,
Oh, I tore mine out of the book.
the appendix, and many more. So it's it's not giving you any radiation. It's a very good one. So
Through sound.
if we try, we would always order ultrasound first. Before we go to the bigger things.
Very interesting. Hey, Doc, if you were an American in the living room, what are you in the bathroom? European. You're in the bathroom, European. I think Tom just blotted me out there. Beep. Okay, what else? Oh, whatever. I've lost him. Okay.
So next one would be a CT scan. A CT scan is called, or CAT scan, computed tomography, also uses x-rays. Now, you got how many x-rays? 8?
A couple hundred, honestly. And I had PET scans. I drank the radio scope.
Okay, hold it.
That's
Don't take my thunder, please.
okay.
All right. A CT scan also uses x-rays. They use a lot of x-rays, and the machine rotates around the body and takes x-rays every single time. So then the computer assembles it into a detailed cross-sectional 3D pseudo. It looks like 3D slices. And CT scans are mainstay for emergency care because they're very quick and they're very good.
And the details are much better, maybe?
Well, yeah, much better than what? Ultrasound?
Yeah, right. Hey,
They're just different, right?
the county medical examiners and the morgue have been told to reduce their budget. Did you hear about this one? Yeah.
No.
So they have started to cut coroners. Coroners. Okay.
So the CT scans are also used for strokes, brain bleeds,
Oh my gosh, that's me.
organ injuries after
I
trauma,
broke something.
tumors, blood clots in the lungs, and many other abdominal conditions such as appendicitis.
told
If
you.
you can't see it with ultrasound, that is.
I got it. My grandma's dream finally came true, and she went to medical school as a cadaver. Okay. Anything else? Oh, the PET.
The PET scan is, okay, don't take my names away. It's me presenting the PET scan.
Please do. I apologize.
It's okay. A PET scan stands for positron emission tomography. There's the same tomography word. It involves injection of a tiny amount of radioactive tracer. You had those too, right?
Yeah, I drank.
So the scanner then detects where in the body the radio tracer is. So instead of seeing bones and stuff, you see where the radioactivity is. And if you think about it, what uses the most energy is the cells that grow the most, even though they're not supposed to. Those are the tumor cells. So that's how they find out where in the body the biggest amount or the highest amount of metabolism takes place.
And it shows everything. Every mole, it pinpoints it. Because I remember with my
If they take
kidney cancer I had.
yeah.
And it was every single little pore of my skin. If it had anything, it would pop it, show it. It was amazing what it did. Hey, scientists have recently isolated the very gene that makes people shy.
Really?
Yes, they did. They found it hiding behind another gene.
So cute. So the PET scan only shows where the radioactivity is. So often it is combined with a CT scan because then the actual organs are seen as well and not just where it flares up. And you kind of have to measure out where you expect the radioactivity to be. Usually it's a CT scan. It can be also an MRI. So usually you combine a PET scan with a CT. So it's a PET CT scan.
And it shows heart, brain, whatever, right?
Any cancer, mainly where it's mainly used for cancer detection because those are the cells that use the most food, which is the radioactive tracer is food.
The cancer eats a lot of food. It's gobbling up everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what do you call someone who hears voices calling their name all the time, doctor?
What?
A schizophrenic narcissist. Anything else?
Good one. Yes.
Okay.
So there's another one. There is the MRI, the magnetic resonance imaging. That's what people would like to order usually. It uses strong magnets, magnetic forces, and radio waves, but it does not use X-rays.
Is this program going into a body right now because it's using radio waves, or is that something else?
Oh,
But it uses no X-ray. Why don't I have that more often? I should have done that.
Yeah, because it's way more expensive, but it is benign. Yeah, you're right. And if you have any metal on you, you can't do it because it's magnetic, right? If you have, it would rip it out, whatever.
Takes away my
So,
brain.
but how it works is it's really cool because what it does, it gets the signals of hydrogen atoms, how they spin. So if you have more hydrogen atoms in the brain, for example, in soft tissues or the brain or spinal cord or muscles, they have different amounts of hydrogen atoms statistically or over, over the area. And so they give different shades. Sometimes they color it too of gray.
Wow.
So and it looks 3D. You have all seen MRI pictures. So it looks very 3D. And it works just by the hydrogen. It's very benign and it's very expensive. And
wow.
Yeah.
I could see that you're kind of talking in a language of doctors. So I've been boning up on things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been studying my own, secretly, without you knowing, to be a doctor. Folks, an antibody is a person who hates their body. Okay? A bacteria, well, it's obviously the back door of a cafeteria. And finally, radiology is studying how radios work.
You're almost graduate there.
Okay.
So the MRI scan is not a quick scan. So it's usually not an ER visit scan. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes. And it is very loud. And a lot of people with claustrophobia, they don't want to be in it because it's very loud, very dark, and very constrained. But it does give you the tiniest amounts of changes. So if you want to see changes in the spinal cord from multiple sclerosis, which is tiny little changes, you use an MRI. Or in the changes in the brain or other spinal cord injuries, joints, ligament tears, they are soft tissues. They really don't show up very well in a CT scan. And other tumor or also tumors that you haven't seen with the X-ray. So this is a very cool mode of visualizing something, but it's not the right thing for everything.
Okay, so MRIs are the most costly.
Yes.
Sonic?
And they take the longest.
Sonic?
Ultrasound is probably the
is
cheapest.
the cheapest.
And X-ray is one of the cheaper ones, but you get radiation.
Right. Hey, scientists have discovered that dolphins are so smart. Yes, indeed. They can quickly teach humans to stand on the edge of a pool and feed them fish. How about that? All right, where are we, Doc?
So I just want to summarize what is used for what. An X-ray and the CT scan are best for structure, how the structure is, bones broken structure. PET scans at function, ultrasound and the MRI in super big detail, and well, the ultrasound is also for function, and the MRI for super in-depth detail. So depending on what you need in a certain scenario, hopefully your provider decides on the correct one. And it's obviously not that easy. So maybe it's the wrong one. And then you see with the wrong method that actually you should look for something else. So it's not, it's not like painting by
Okay, does
numbers.
Sutter Hospital in Crescent City, Sutter Coast, do they have all these machines? They have everything, including MRI?
I think so. Yeah.
How about the one here in Brookings?
I think so. I do think they have it. They're not. You have to have a dedicated technician and those people on board for that. So I don't know how much they're always used, but how much they're actually available at any time.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I've been through all of them, and I like the non-X-ray.
Right, the MRI. And for kidney cancer that like yours, that's the right modality. And the PET MRI too.
I thought PET was the top. Okay, I recently bought a book titled How to Scam People Online. I bought it 3 months ago, and it still hasn't arrived. Okay, well, thank you for the dissertation, Dr. Gigi, on your health notes. I think it's very interesting, and I appreciate your time in looking all that up. By the way, folks, you can get a copy of the Triplicate newspaper that serves, it goes from Crescent City, and it goes down south to Eureka, and it comes up here to Gold Beach and beyond. And then the Triplicate, you have an article each and every week, and that is this going to be in this next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's doing that. So good for you, Dr. Gigi, on MDGG. Okay, today on the show, we're thrilled to welcome a truly remarkable guest. Gilda, or known as Gigi, so there's two Gigis in the room. I'll call you Gigi Hodges. And if you've ever wondered what it's like to live a life that feels like a magic show, full of surprise, resilience, and reinvention, then Gigi's story will pull you right in. Gigi's journey began in the most unexpected of places, under a magician's wing. As a young apprentice, she didn't just learn sleight of hand or how to make objects disappear. She learned to see the world with curiosity, imagination, and a touch of wonder. But life, as we know, doesn't always follow the trick's script. As a young woman on the move, she moved to Utah. There's a commonality, because you spent 20 years at the University of Utah. And there she met the man of her dreams. And we'll find out all about these stories. While also there, Gigi began a much more personal kind of discovery, one that led her to understand about her own struggles and trauma and, PTSD, amongst others. Instead of hiding from it, she turned that experience into a mission, and that is to better understand the mind, break the stigma around mental health, and build spaces for others who are walking similar paths. Well, that mission eventually inspired her to form a community of neurodivergent individuals, which we'll find out all about that. And it's a place of creativity, understanding, and belonging. And there are differences. Differences aren't just accepted, they are celebrated. But there's yet another chapter to Gigi's story, and that's music. With her guitar in hand, Gigi channels her journey into song, creating melodies that speak of healing and humor and hope. So stay tuned, because today we'll talk magic, mental health, music, and so much more with Gilda Gigi Hodges, who just might treat us to a song before the hour's up.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Gigi, to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show, and thank you for bringing your friend Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
All right. Thanks, Gigi.
Thanks for having us. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Yes. And you brought your guitar. We're excited about that.
Oh, well, I don't know how excited you should be, but
Well,
we'll just see how that goes.
All right.
Gilda, that's Gigi, more Gigi, right, than Gilda?
I go by Gigi, but I was born Gilda Glenn Gonzalez.
Okay.
So Gigi.
Gigi.
Okay. So you have Mexican-American blood, right? That's what your name, Gonzalez, right? I mean, that's...
My father's name was Guillermo Gonzalez. And he
Wow.
was born in Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay, so there we go. Hold on to that thought, because there is a twist to her background. But Gigi, go right ahead.
All right. Gigi. 3 G's, really, right? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in San Francisco, California, on Van Ness Street in the year 1960, on April 21st.
No. Wow. And so what brought you up to the coast here?
Well, that's a long story. We did not live in San Francisco growing up. We moved away when I was just a little girl. and we moved to Southern California, which is where I grew up. And then I spent some time in Utah.
Yes, go Utah.
Where I lived and married the love of my life, my husband, Jack. And then we moved here to Brookings when he retired from the post office in Utah. And then we've been here ever since.
Wait a minute. I gotta ask you this. Tell us the weird situation with your birth. You were born at home, right?
I was born at home. My mother was pregnant, apparently, and so there it was. And one day she was handing, the story goes, she was handing the siblings, the older siblings, some change to go get the ice cream truck fellow, was coming down the road with the ice cream truck. And here's the change. Suddenly, the coin purse flew across the room. She said, "Oh, no, I'm having a baby." And my father was said to have run across the street to the bar. The neighbor women came running, and she said, "Get a butcher knife. It's been done before. I'm having a baby now." And there it was. It was instant. I was there.
Wow.
And how many child were you? Yeah, what is the butcher knife
That's
for?
to cut the umbilical cord.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many, do you have older siblings? How many older siblings do you have?
At the time, I had two brothers, 10 years older than me, and an older sister, 6 years older than me. Little sister came later, but I was the fourth then of those children. And
wow.
They were not thrilled to see that.
Wait, did she not know that she was pregnant, or did nobody else know?
She knew she was pregnant, but she just didn't know she was going to just give birth that quickly.
I see.
But wait, there's more. Because, a few days later, you're in the hospital.
Yes, they come with an ambulance to take mother and child to the hospital to check them out and make sure everything's all good because, women have only been doing this for millions of years.
Yeah.
So we were separated at the hospital and we weren't allowed to see each other, apparently. And then they went to let us go home 5 days later, and they filled out my birth certificate on that day, which was the 26th of April.
My gosh.
And that day is my official birthday.
Oh.
But you're
on all my
younger,
records.
right?
Yeah.
You're kind of younger then.
So,
Yeah, 5 days.
That's a very different story, right?
Which is really strange.
Well,
I mean, this is
1960.
but it's the United States. I mean, it's not like it's in Mexico where.
Yeah, we're going to hear that at the end of the conversation too. All right, tell us more about your. Let's move up to your teen years. And your teen years were, a lot of very interesting stories. But tell what you did primarily for work in the teen.
Well, I fell in with a bunch of really clean-cut kids. So instead of getting in trouble and doing all of those things that the teenagers do in those situations, I fell in with the milk and cookies crowd, the drama kids and the kids who were doing magic, and became a magician's assistant.
Wow.
At the age of 15 years old. Worked at the Magic Castle, did magic shows just all around Southern California, got to meet a wonderful bunch of people in the film and TV industry. At that time, Cary Grant was one of the board of directors of the Magic Castle. Oh. So I got to meet him and have dinner with him.
Dang.
And, so also Johnny Carson was a big magic fan, and so he was at the castle once in a while, and I found myself sitting next to him one day. I didn't realize it was him, oddly enough, although we watched his show every night. I was sitting right next to him and didn't realize it until he spoke to me.
Then you recognized the voice.
Then I recognized the voice, yeah. I was like,
Cool.
Oh, hi, I probably shouldn't be here. That was fun.
So what was your job? What did you do as a magician helper?
Well, as a magician's assistant, I did the magic. No, that's when a magician does sleight of hand, that takes years of practice, and they're very devoted and dedicated to their craft, and they practice these sleight of hand things for decades. But a lot of things are illusions, and they require props and boxes and things like that. And so I did a lot of that.
Were you ever the person who got sawed in half?
I was going to say, were you
be the person that got sawed in half?
Cool.
Did it hurt?
No, actually, you had to be a contortionist in order to do this.
Right.
And so I learned how to do that.
Oh, wow.
My body in some pretty weird ways. And then one act I worked on with a fellow named Dirk Arthur, who's, I believe, still working in
heard of
Vegas. Dirk Arthur, yeah. He
heard of
does,
him.
I think he has cats now. He had birds. He had a bird act, and I had all the birds on my body. That's how he would produce the birds on stage. He would scoop them off of my body and then produce them. And so I would do misdirection. I would twirl an umbrella, or I would do something with a cane or whatever while he was getting birds off of the back of me or whatever.
Wow.
So it was a bunch of birds with that act, and that was kind of fun, being the bird loader. And we did a Dick Clark television show called Gabe Kaplan Presents The Future Stars. Back in the 70s, when everybody was doing those movies of the week and specials of the week and stuff, he did one of those. And we appeared on that, which was interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Hey, were you ever caught or, doing the trickery in front of a crowd? Like you got out of the box before you were supposed to, or?
No, although one time at the Magic Castle, the magician I was working with threw a silk into the air, a beautiful silk, kerchief into the air, and it was supposed to turn into a cane, and I was supposed to catch the cane. And instead of that happening, it turned into a cane, but it hit me in the head. So that was kind of amusing comic relief there. Another time with the bird act, one of the birds came out of the device and it was not alive anymore.
Oh, no.
And so that was really, he had to just sort of like put the bird in his pocket, and then we had to quickly figure something else out. And the audience didn't notice.
It was seamless.
They don't
It was,
know.
it was incredible at the Mayfair Music Hall, and nobody noticed that the bird was actually not alive.
And you did that for how long? About all your teens?
Oh, yeah, from the time I was about 15 until about in my 20s.
Mid-70s through the early 80s?
Yeah.
Worked with a number of different magicians and had a great time, like I said, just all over Southern California.
Okay.
Met Billy Barty, just all kinds of interesting people that you grew up knowing the names of or
Right.
had seen
Right.
perform.
And after that, you moved to Utah. Tell us about that.
Yes, as a young adult, I moved to Utah. My brother was in a terrible car accident, and I thought I will go to Utah and live with him and spend some time there. And really, I just wanted to get out of Southern California. I had enough of that. So went to Southern Utah and met and fell in love with the love of my life, who happened to be my brother's best friend and his mentor. He was like a father figure to my brother, and had known my brother since my brother was a teenager. And so that was a weird thing that we ended up falling in love. And at first, my brother was not thrilled with that. My best friend and my sister, I don't like this. I don't think I like this at all. But then he started seeing the advantages of it. And so he ended up being the best man, and he gave the bride away.
Is that Jack Hodges?
And he was very
Hodges,
happy.
right?
Yes, and that was Jack Hodges.
And he was older than you a few years?
He was twice my age and not in the best health. He had had heart attacks and diabetes and emphysema. So it was a very unusual match.
Yeah,
But we were definitely the people that were supposed to be with each other.
Right on. Was he, had he ever been married before?
Yes. I was his fourth wife.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Okay.
And so we used to joke about the fact that he was not getting out of this marriage alive. and he didn't. He passed away in 2017 at the age of 86.
All right. Well, listen, we're having fun here. Time does fly when you're having fun. It's already that mid-break time here on the Doc and Jacques Live Radio Show, proudly broadcasting from the KCIW 100.7 FM studios in lovely coastal Brookings, Oregon. The list of major sponsors for our community radio station are Advanced Airlines, flying in and out of nearby Crescent City to Oakland and LA 7 days a week. Michelle Bupert, hello, Michelle, with our own vibrant local Curry County Chamber of Commerce. Nick and Lisa Rail, hello, Nick and Lisa. I see them all the time. I see them constantly down in Crescent City. And your PPA, or the Partnership for the Performing Arts. And lastly, my dear co-host, Dr. Gigi Reed, and yours truly, on behalf of KCIW, thanks to all of you. We're getting back to Gilda, or Gigi Hodges, which is unique. Your name, Gigi. I'm named Jack. Her name is Gigi, and
That would be
my
me.
name is Jack. Yeah, there's two different. I think it's a lot of
I
similarities.
find that a very interesting
Yeah,
fact.
right. Isn't that kind of cool? And Carol with a K.
Yes.
What is your last name again?
Fedorov.
Fedorov. So that's Russian, right?
It
The
is.
Fedorov.
Fedorov.
Everybody says the same thing. Peroshki. I speak Russian. I speak Peroshki. That's all I say. Peroshki. Well, pleasure. And I'm glad you came in because everybody that is on the show, you're welcome to bring in a guest or two with you to sit and watch from the peanut gallery, or like you're joining us today, we had room to have you sit down in front of a microphone and see how a live show all goes down. And thanks again to Ray Simon and Tom Bozak for running the show so well. Okay.
I want to know about Jack here. Not you, Jack. The other Jack.
Damn it.
I want to know why was he known and what is a fast gunslinger?
Oh, Jack was fascinated and knew everything there was to know about a period of time called the Old West.
Oh.
And this is a 20-year period of time between 1860 and, 1880. And more has been written about this period of time than has been written about the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
And Jack knew it all. He was not a cowboy, and if you called him a cowboy, he would be not happy.
How about Moses?
What?
How about Moses?
Moses. Well, he used to tell people, I've been around since rocks were soft. So
A gunslinger.
so he was not a gunslinger. He was a gunfighter.
Oh. And
It's a difference.
Yeah.
Apparently.
What did he do?
having blanks.
So one day in Utah, he thought it would be fun to entertain the tourists. And with an Old West gunfight show.
There you go.
And so he gathered up some friends, my brother included, and they started shooting off guns at one another and made up a little skit. And they gathered some tourists around because Kanab was quite a big tourist town. And the people gathered around and heard the guns going off, and they did a little skit, and the gunfights of Kanab were born. Now it's a very, very money-making industry.
Oh my
They built
gosh.
entire western
Right.
towns.
Yeah.
The outlaw Josie Wales set has been moved into the town from where it was outside of town, and it's a money-making industry for the town. That my husband started with just shooting
Wow.
people in the street, 40 years ago. And he was good at it. He enjoyed doing it, and he was terrified of performing in front of people. And so he used performing in front of people as a way to get over the terror of doing that. And
Hopefully filling blanks in
yeah,
those, right?
Yep. All the bullets were blanks, and we would pass the hat for Band-Aids and bullets. And
Band-Aids and bullets.
one day, apparently, there was some FBI agents in the town for some reason. And they didn't know that these gunfights just spontaneously started up
Oh, no.
every once in a while. And so there was almost an incident, apparently.
The FBI came
Until
after
somebody told them, no, this is a show. These are not real people.
Right.
Holding up the
What was the name of that guy, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.? Remember him?
Yeah,
oh,
I do.
You're German. You don't know this.
No, I don't know.
I
Ephraim,
do
the
remember
FBI story or something
Junior.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
No, you also liked music. You had appreciation for music?
Yes, Jack and I both big music lovers. He had a record collection that consisted of literally the first things that were ever produced on, Bakelite and vinyl and
Yeah,
stuff. The
Bakelite,
first
yeah.
records ever made. He had hundreds and hundreds of these old things, songs from just a million years ago, and he had these things called
horrible.
radio transcriptions, which were these giant records. And
Wow.
there were transcribed radio programs, but there was only the one copy. There was just the one thing made of a. So we had these old radio programs that nobody could ever hear unless they listened to it on this
Massive
on this
oversized
thing, on
LP,
this
right?
Giant LP looking thing, and we just used to listen to music, all kinds of music. Neither one of us had a genre that we were married to. We just loved everything from everywhere. So we danced in the kitchen, and we danced at the Buckskin, and we just danced and listened to music.
I want to know, you worked with who? The largest no-kill facility?
Yes. The largest no-kill animal sanctuary is called Best Friends Animal Society in
That's
Utah, in Kanab, Utah.
Kanab, yeah.
And again, now they are one of the major employers of that area. And it started out much different. And I had the privilege of working there for many years. I was trained as a vet tech, but also just got to, take care of the animals and clean up after them and hang out with them and help the volunteers learn how to, take care of the.
Wow. So you're doing lots of stuff.
You're doing lots of stuff. No,
Worked in a lot of positions. Yeah.
so the no-kill, what kind of animals did they have then, or do they have?
Well, Best Friends, it's thousands of acres of property out in a canyon about 10 miles outside of town. Wow. So they've got, when I was there, we had about 900 cats. 700 dogs.
My goodness.
Horses, pigs, goats.
Wow. We've had the Humane Society on here, and of course, much smaller.
Bunny rabbit. Yeah, there's Bunny Village. There's Bird Sanctuary in the canyon. There's Cat Village. There's Dog Town. There's a full vet clinic.
Wow.
It's just the most amazing place I've ever been. It's the best work I've ever done. And I've done a lot of different things for a living. But Best Friends was just my favorite. The people, the animals, the canyon.
But they're there to be hopefully adopted out, right? Those animals?
Every animal that can be adopted is adoptable.
Okay.
They were the ones that took the victory dogs. They called them the victory dogs, the Michael Vick dogs. I don't know if you remember that situation
that guy,
years ago.
Terrible thing.
They rescued all of those dogs, and many of those dogs were healthy enough and rehabilitated enough that they were adopted out. But the ones who couldn't be lived out fantastic lives at the sanctuary for the rest of their lives.
Did they have any turtles?
Yes.
Turtles and tortoises?
There's definitely turtles and tortoises.
There you go.
The reason they got the canyon in the first place was because they wanted to purchase the canyon for the sanctuary, but someone else had already purchased it.
Oh.
And they went to sign the papers, and they saw a snake. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Oh, there's snakes in this canyon?" And they were told, yes, there are snakes in the world, and they live in Utah, and they're in here, they're in the canyon. And the people went, don't want it, and walked away. So Best Friends got it.
Oh, wow.
Because there was an animal on the property that the other people didn't want to have there.
Right. So we're like peppering you with questions, because you have done so many things. Here's my next one. Tell us something about your movie exploits.
Oh, I also worked on my first film when I was in Utah.
Yeah.
Utah was a wonderful experience in many, many ways. And getting to work on that film started a film career for me. Mm-hmm. And that was wonderful. It was called Windrunner, the film that I was in, starred Margot Kidder and Russell Means. Don't know if you know who Russell Means is. He started the American Indian movement.
Right.
Was at the Second Wounded Knee, was actually shot. Oh. He was an activist.
And bullets and Band-Aids again.
And Margot was just one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. Just like this brilliant genius child, just curious about everything. And it was one of the highlights of my film career to work with her and to get to know her like as a person. We became kind of like friends and played pool together and hung out a little bit and stuff. And
what is she doing now?
She has passed away.
Oh,
a few years ago. Yes.
And that was when you lived in Kanab?
Yeah,
Utah.
When I lived in Kanab.
What is the population of Kanab?
It's tiny. I don't understand that there
was
were
only a few thousand people when I lived there. It's bigger now. It's grown quite a bit, but it's still,
Utah.
just a small town in southern Utah. You're 70 miles away from the next nearest town, the nearest big town. There's another little town right across the Arizona border called Fredonia.
Oh yeah, Fredonia.
Arizona,
mm-hmm.
right?
And
that's about
bigger.
6 miles away.
Yeah,
and it's it's barely a town.
Well, Fredonia, yeah.
Okay, we're going to shift gears. I want Gigi to handle these questions because it's a personal side of you. Tell us, ask us questions there.
Which ones? PTSD?
Well, yeah, sure.
Well, I'm in the green one. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about PTSD and what other issues you have had in your life and battled in.
Oh, well, that's kind of a long story too, but I'll see if I can shorten it up. I grew up in Baldwin Park, California, single mother on welfare. It was not a great place to grow up. A lot of crime and a lot of abuse going on, and I experienced quite a bit of that as a child. So I developed complex PTSD. Also, didn't know my entire life that I was also autistic and ADHD and, that kind of stuff, neurodivergent going on. Didn't realize that was happening at all. And nobody noticed or diagnosed.
And it wasn't back then,
So-
right? Yeah.
Right. And so when you are, especially girls, or go undiagnosed because we mask better, we learn a little quicker how to, appear normal to folks.
Beware.
Beware, yeah.
What happens with neurodivergent people, autism and ADHD, and you almost now, we understand now that you almost don't have one without the other. They pretty much go together. It's very unusual for
That's
just
what's
to have one and not the
Spectrum,
other.
right?
On the
Right.
spectrum.
Yeah.
So people who have autism experience just being in the world as trauma because our brains are processing a million more things than everybody else. And so we can hear stuff you can't hear. We can feel stuff you can't feel. And there's just so much going on in there. There's just a lot happening in your brain that it isn't going on in the brains of neurotypical people.
Wow.
So the world can kind of be traumatic for people like that.
Neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent. And that I thought was a relatively new.
I think it is. I really had never heard of neurodivergent.
It's just a way of describing people whose brains function differently than
what we think
what
they should
neurotypical
function,
people,
right? Yeah. Now you have some neurodivergent-safe theater company. Tell
What
us
is
about
that all about?
Well, it doesn't actually exist yet, except in my brain, but it will this year, I hope.
Yeah.
I've been in theater for a long time, doing theater locally here for the last 20 years or so. But I see that there can be a better way of doing things for people like me. And there are way more people like me than anybody seems to realize or that I even realized before. And I've encountered a lot of neurodivergence in the theater. And these people are extremely talented, but we need a safe place to do this creative art. And I want to be that safe place. I want to create that safe environment.
So you want to start a theater house, a theater?
Yeah, it'll just be a theater company at this point, and we will do pop-up theater. We will find venues like the library or other playhouses and things like that, and we'll put shows on just for free, basically.
So those neurodivergent people, do you assume or do you think that they all have theater in them, or is that a therapy type thing? What would you?
For me, it saved my life. It's what got me through being in the world. Getting that theater experience as a young person and doing magic and all of that gave me a way of being that I didn't have access to otherwise. And it made it okay to be a little different. The drama kids, it was okay for the drama kids to be weird.
Dramatic.
Right? So you kind of were legitimized. And I've noticed that a lot of people in the film industry, I learned this, a lot of actors are really shy, neurodivergent, don't look at me when I'm in the world, but I want to be seen when I'm on film. And I'm that way too. When I'm in the grocery store, I don't want anyone looking at me or noticing I'm there. But when I'm on stage, I'm all about it. Come on.
Is this your first time on the radio? Is this the first time on your radio for you?
Actually, well, it's the first time I've ever been interviewed, but I actually have an FCC license, and I was a DJ once.
Well, there you go. So switch the table. All right,
we have not even asked all the questions.
Well, no, we got about
what you have
15 minutes,
done.
and we're still going to play song. But
Yeah.
getting back to what I promised our listeners, we would hear about your Mexican-American background. Your father, Guillermo, was it?
Guillermo.
Gonzalez.
Okay, well, what happened on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day in 2020?
Well,
Gigi?
on that day, I got my ancestry DNA results back. I had sent away thinking I might have a sibling in the world because my dad was a little older than my mom. And I thought, I wonder if he maybe had a relationship and maybe there was a kid there. So I'll find out if there's some DNA, somebody related to me. And I got my DNA results and looked at the little map. They show you colorful areas where your ancestry is from. And Mexico was gray.
Meaning
It's just gray.
not.
No color. No blood relatives from Mexico. There was no DNA relationship to anybody in Mexico.
How about Peru?
Nothing in South America. I am as white bread as you can get.
What is your background? What does your DNA show?
Apparently, very Irish, Scottish,
goodness.
and British.
Wow, so what happened there? How
Teeny
did-
tiny bit of Ashkenazi Jew somewhere back in there, a little 1%. But yeah,
Wow.
fascinating. I had no idea, had a whole different life story. I mean, I'm 60 years old when I find this out.
Wow. What a...
For 60 years, I thought I was...
Did your siblings do it too? You had older and younger siblings, right?
Yes, I have
So
two
did
older
they-
brothers, older sister. I know my younger sister has a different father than me
yeah.
because that was how it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Did the other siblings do the 23andMe or whatever you did? Did they do it too?
Well, my sister is obviously my father's daughter. You just can't mistake.
Yeah.
There's no mistaking that.
so you didn't ask her.
So, well, we don't really have much of a relationship.
Yeah.
She's not a very nice person, but and unfortunately, both of my brothers have passed away, so I couldn't get them to do DNA tests. But my brothers do have children, and so I'm encouraging them to get DNA tests to make sure. Who knows? One of or more of my brothers could also not be my father's children.
All right. That's a crazy...
But over 1 million people have found this out. I'm not alone.
Right.
Yeah. So I would love to someday do a documentary about that. Like you think you're this, but you really find out you're that.
Well, there was this article
that
about
uncommon.
how siblings actually put their DNA, their siblings grew up and everything, and they put their DNA, like 3 sisters, put their DNA in different DNA ancestry
Something,
thingies,
yeah.
and they got different answers.
Different
too.
ans-
So
She
That's
has-
another thing. I've heard
Dr.
that happen.
Gigi has not 1, 2, 3, but 4 patents in DNA technology back in the day. So she knows her DNA. Listen, would you start grabbing your guitar and getting yourself tuned in? And while I'm going to take just a break and give our sound engineers the time to dial in Gigi Hodges, Gilda, Gigi Hodges here. She's going to play a song for us. It's a copyright-free song that you were given a little preview of it earlier, and we really liked it. I also wanted to tell everybody that we met Gilda, Gigi Hodges, and I met online when I reached out to folks on Facebook and said, do you have interesting stories to tell? And she responded. So I encourage you all, find Jacques Kepner on Facebook and friend me, or at least send me a message, or you could call me. My phone number is listed on the Facebook page, and tell me why you should be on the show. And guess what? You may just be. All right. Gilda, Gigi Hodges, what song are you going to sing here?
I am going to sing a song that my husband used to sing to me when we used to drive around and go on driving adventures and travel to various places. He would quote Robert Frost poetry and sing bizarre songs like The Frozen Lager.
Frozen Lager?
I thought I would sing this one because it doesn't cost anything.
Okay, it's copyright free
It's
for all of you
copyright
folks out
free.
there, including Tom Bozak, who will check. All right, let's hear it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just learning how to play the guitar, so forgive that it won't be perfect. As I sat down one evening within a small cafe, a 40-year-old waitress to me these words did say, I see that you are a logger and not just a common bum. 'Cause nobody but a logger stirs his coffee with his thumb. My lover was a logger, there's none like him today. If you pour whiskey on it, he would eat a bale of hay. He never shaved his whiskers from off his holy hide. He'd just drive them in with a hammer and bite them off inside. My lover came to see me upon one freezing day. He held me in a fond embrace which broke 3 vertebrae. He kissed me when we parted so hard that he broke my jaw. I could not speak to tell him he'd forgot his Mackinac. I saw my longer leaving, sauntering through the snow, going bravely homeward at 48 below.
48.
The weather, it tried to freeze him, it tried its level best. At 100 degrees below zero, he buttoned out his vest. It froze clear through the china, it froze to the stars above. At 1,000 degrees below zero, it froze my lager love. And so I lost my lover, and to this cafe I come, and here I wait till someone stirs his coffee with his thumb.
He stirs his coffee with his thumb. Reminds me of Ray Simon. Wow, it's amazing. Wow. Well, thank you. That
Very
was
cool.
unexpected.
Thank you. Now,
tell us about your guitar, right?
right? So, yeah, Cassandra
This is
told me about it, and
super.
she says you sometimes play at the Manley Center at the Art Walk.
Yes, it's a
Right.
lovely evening. Once a month, the last Monday of the month, they do a music circle there, and I'm privileged to join them.
Right on. So, we've had all those folks on our Rob Cliff.
Rob's great, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's my
he's
biggest
on-
musical crush right
There you
now.
go.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you see yourself in 2 years?
2 years
Yeah.
on the stage, I'm hoping.
Yeah, there you go.
On the stage.
Cool.
I still do some movie work now and then, not as much as I used to, but the stage is really what I love.
Right on. And I hope everything works out well with your neurodivergent theater. That is really a cool thing. What would you do if you had more time? You have a lot of time. You're only 65.
Well, if I had more time, I would do more things.
I think we all would.
No, I would do more theater, yes. Just
Right on.
More theater?
right on.
No.
more theater.
More theater production or more theater actoring?
All of it.
All of
all
it?
of it. I love all of it. I love the structure of it. I love working with the people. I love how I understand that world. I'm good at it.
And do you use plays that have been made? So do you get a playwright or something, or do you make them up?
I don't make them up. I know what I'm good at, and there
ain't
are
one
some
of 'em.
brilliant writers in the world, and that's my mission is to do brilliant writing, do direct plays that are done by brilliant writers.
Wow.
I have to start with a brilliant script. It's absolute necessity. I won't do a lot of what people do in local community theaters because the writing is just not great.
Right on.
So super high standards.
When you get to that point when you want to promote it even more, please get in touch with KCNW here, and we were happy to give your, I assume it's going to be a 501c3,
Yes.
right, nonprofit. You're welcome to not advertise, but to talk about your nonprofit entity and promote it as what it is on this radio station. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wednesdays, anybody can come in Wednesday and
Right.
record a PSA, which is a public service announcement, right?
Personal service? No, public service announcement.
All right, last question we often ask this. What is your tombstone going to say?
Well, it's going to say she was really born on the 21st of April and not the 26th.
That is a great one. Yeah, I figure what do they call it when they burn you up? It's
Cremation?
Oh, cremation. I figure cremation is my last chance for a smoking hot body. Thank you. Thank you so much,
You both for coming
Gilda,
in.
Gigi Hodges, and Karen Fedoroff. Carol, pardon. Carol, thank you for listening in and being here and chiming in every once in a while. We appreciate that. And everybody else is welcome too. So you don't have any quotes today, so guess what? I get to hog it all and do all my jokes.
For what?
For Fun Time Corner. Okay, where are they? Well, you want to tell some of my jokes. They're right there.
Yeah, can I do one quote that I have?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, Harry Houdini's quote. A magician is only an actor pretending to be a magician.
Wow. That is actually pretty good. Hey, if two vegans get in an argument, do they call it a beef? Hey, I used to be addicted to soap, but I'm all clean now. So dumb. Okay, I had to quit smoking marijuana recently, doctor,
Why?
because my cholesterol was getting way too high. Yeah, I recently entered the World Kleptomaniac Championships. Yep, I took the gold, silver, and the bronze. Come to think of it, Moses had the first tablet that connected to the cloud. Oh my God, how many more do I got? I got 3 minutes of this stuff? Oh, wait a minute. You got something else to say, Doc?
You have like 5 pages of jokes.
Okay. Okay, if you burn to death, do you get a discount at the crematorium? Oh, that's dark.
Hey, how do you make a 7 even?
How do you make 7 even?
Yeah.
I don't know. How?
Take away the S.
Take away the S, and then it becomes
He
even?
gets to laugh at a joke. Okay, you have 45 seconds.
Did you hear there was a coin shortage in America?
No
We all-
way.
Yeah, we're running out of common sense.
Very true.
Dr. Gigi thinks I'm really weird when I wear a helmet every time we eat. I'm just playing it safe on my new crash diet.
Hey, I asked Eva, my dog, what is 2 minus 2?
What is
What
2
she
minus
said.
2? What did you say?
Nothing.
Okay, scientists. Oh, I think I already said that. What's dead and sits in a closet, doctor?
You tell me.
The hide-and-seek champion from 1995. Oh, so bad. I'm still going to laugh out of that one.
I love that
Are
one.
we finished?
But guess what?
What?
It is time to say goodbye. You have been listening to the Doc and Jacques Show on KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We hope you have enjoyed our show as much as we have. Oh my gosh, learning about Gigi Hodges. We
Yeah,
have not
that's
asked
fun.
all the questions about all these little thingies that you did. Fantastic.
Oh, I'm not on the right page.
Yeah. So
I am
what
back
you're
to-
saying is
Sure.
indeed
Yes,
peace and prosperity
indeed.
to
I'm
everyone
scrolling
out
down.
there.
Where am I? I'm scrolling down. Okay, folks. Peace and prosperity to everyone out there. Thanks again to Tom Bozak, Linda, listening, Ray, Simon, and others. Thank you, Carol, and Miss Gilda, Gigi Hodges. You're the kind of people that make this show possible. So, mail us
Yeah.
at Doc and Jacques.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. So,
Okay,
email us
goodbye.
at docandjacques@gmail.com. Bye, and stay tuned for Tony Durso Show.